Thank you everyone for joining us. Welcome to XR Unpacked, where we explore the immersive world of AR, spatial computing, VR, and the 3D web. I'm Rich Pasqua, and today we have a very special event happening live in the Hive3 Metaverse with none other than Stacy Quakenbush, founder and CEO of Hive3. Welcome everyone.
So excited this is happening, Rich. We've been talking about it for a while.
Yes, and Stacy, you are quite familiar with Web3 Unpacked and MVMT and everything else. Stacy and I will be diving into the wonderful world of Hive3 Metaverse. Obviously, there's lots of metaverses, but there's only one Hive3 Metaverse. We'll be learning about creating truly interactive spaces for your teams, events, education, classes, and much more. Also, we'll be learning a little bit more about me, my company, MVMT, along the way. And we'll also want to talk to the audience and have time for you guys to ask questions and have Stacy and I answer them towards the end.
And while we're doing our presentations and chatting, feel free to text us. So you can see there's a little screen icon in your bottom left corner. Feel free to click it and text questions midstream, do shout outs. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, and you can see my messages popping up in the corner. And you can read other people's questions and get your questions in. Now, Stacy, you've been on the podcast a bit in the past, and we're starting to spin up some really interesting stuff in the virtual world or 3D world. Could you give us a quick overview of this beautiful environment we're currently in?
Yeah, sure thing. So this is considered our main campus lounge. It is a public and open metaverse. So it's meant for workshops, conferences, talks, social events. But it's also meant for things like co-working. You can come in, meet up with somebody, go over a problem, figure things out. We really wanted to make it fun and playful. So we've got an NFT gallery. We've got a taco truck so you can order some food and have it delivered IRL. We also have games. We have video games that are directly connected to games, but we also have games in the gaming garden, Easter eggs that you can find and unlock things to play with. We really wanted to emphasize professional development and play. Rich, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? I mean, we know a lot about Web3 Unpacked, but tell us a little bit more about yourself and MVMT.
Sure. So, at the end of the day, personally, I am a creative person. I've studied design most of my entire life. I'm also an entrepreneur, and I've done lots of small business, and including product startups as well, both in 2.0 and 3.0 world. But most recently, MVMT is, and you can see, let me switch my screen here. MVMT really is not just a podcast. Yes, we host a bunch of podcasts, and you can see them on the right-hand side, but we're a strategic design firm that specializes in working with emerging technology companies and advanced science companies across the globe. Some of our core services are digital and brand strategy. We love doing that. We like helping companies with really hard stories to tell, figure out what their message is and their approach is to digital spaces. We also do and excel in visual and verbal branding. How do you communicate? How do you look? How do you feel? How do you sound? We love doing that, and we've done that for tons and tons of people. We do product development as well. So that means customer experience, UX, UI, We also do marketing. So really starting from the inception of, hey, we've got an idea or a brand that needs help, right down to launching your product. We go into marketing, content development. So being very, very strategic about what content you need. We also develop rich media as well, audio, video, and motion from there. And then Web3, Web3 and Web2 and innovation consulting. So where does my company or my suite of products fit into specific worlds? More recently, Web3. And then we also do Web2 and Web3 platform development. Obviously, Web3 is a little bit more involved, but Web2 and Web3 are usually kind of combined, and it's becomes, Web2 becomes the on-ramp to Web3. And that's me in a nutshell. That's the company. I want to just share a few other little items here about MVMT. These are some of just a small sampling of some of the brands we've helped help envision and set free into the wild, right? So lots of Web2 technology companies, advanced science companies, and some medical, but mainly technology and advanced sciences, and some publishing as well. One of the projects that really got us started in the Web3 space is Andromeda Protocol. They're based on the Cosmos ecosystem, and really interesting project. As I mentioned before, it's very hard to kind of explain to people what Bitcoin is, what blockchain is, what the basics are in general, and forget about advanced products. But Andromeda Protocol is a great group of people that are creating a product to help people, average non-technical people, develop ERC 721 smart contracts for themselves with a WYSIWYG style tool. So what we did with them is help them envision their brand, create style guides and brand guides, from logo types to colors to font treatments to verbal. Helping their teams and their partners, their extended networks, understand how to use their brands efficiently and effectively across multiple platforms. So our work, wasn't just creating the language and the visual language. It was really kind of dipping into their product development as well, creating interfaces and showing them how they need to communicate on the small screens, both mobile, desktop, and beyond. We also created lots of really simplified animations for the website and the product itself. So going through the product, what do little demos look like and beyond? So full suite of creative, full suite of language, and the tools to help keep them on track and communicating consistently. So this is really what we do. We love doing this, and we go into the advertising end of it if they want, and we also go beyond into physical space. So much like Stacy is used to creating, not only virtual event spaces, but real, IRL event spaces, will help actually complement that and say, hey, this is what a conference space might look like for you guys, and how you can best represent yourself in a particular area. Another quick product I wanted to show you is something that I've been incubating with a few other business partners, and it's called OHP, or 100%. And it is, you as a user of this service, which is on a decentralized blockchain, you store and you have your work credentials validated on the blockchain. So, hey, Rich worked for Nickelodeon for 6.5 years back in the day. I can go back to the employer and have them validate my employment, my title, my duration there, and, reporting structures or whatever it may be. And it's indelibly inked on the blockchain. Now, this is really important because as we all know, even on LinkedIn, as good as a network it is and a platform it is, there's a lot of grift and a lot of counterfeit people floating around. So this kind of gives you that kind of almost like that blue check mark that you've been validated on the blockchain. So again, we developed a whole visual system around what they should look like and how they should communicate. From the web right down to the product itself, right down into, perhaps your MetaMask wallet and beyond. So really exciting project. We're looking for, to develop this even more. We do have a working prototype on this, and it's a lot of fun. So another project I'll just quickly go through. This is a project that I'm kind of still attached to as a kind of a consultant, and it's the Hyperloop project. This is an actual technology, a maglev technology that Elon Musk actually developed and introduced to the world many years ago. And then certain people like Hyperloop Transportation Technologies, Richard Branson's Hyperloop One, certain people and organizations took the technology and started to run with it. I was fortunate enough to help them develop really interesting and immersive interactive marketing experiences, around the speed and the efficiency, and basically the societal change that Hyperloop could actually bring to the world. So really, these are exciting projects that personally I like to get involved in, and the teams that I form and work with love to get involved with. So that's a little bit about me. I hope you understand that it's not just podcast. We have a real, design system that we actually put forth and work within. And we can help you and your companies imagine a new brand, or actually, re-envision an older brand and bring it back to life, and help you with your products. So reach out to us and you'll have more information on where to hit Stacy and I up towards the end.
Hey, Rich, that was amazing to hear about the interactive, immersive, and marketing experiences that you create, and also the multifaceted toolkit that you have to work from, and what a dynamic team that you have as well. So thank you for sharing that. I think that there are a lot of people in the Web 2 and Web 3 space that can totally benefit from what you have to offer. I'm really interested, based upon what you just shared with us, to learn a little bit about how you see some of the brands that you work with maybe benefiting from one of our metaverse spaces.
Yeah, fantastic question, Stacy. And as I've been kind of working with you and your team, I think you're only limited by your own imagination. And, we've been bopping around this whole idea of like, hey, is the traditional webinar actually dead? People are going to do webinars the way they do webinars, or group presentations the way they're going to do it. But this is a really fantastic way to kind of bring people in to one, focused area and actually interact with folks. So that's really, really cool. Doing product demos is a little bit easier. Much like I just gave a presentation on my company, you can actually walk through demos. You can do training for people. I think that's really, and Stacy, you're going to get into a lot of the education portion of it, but a little bit of a hands-on training You can show people actually how to do things and communicate with them in a space more effectively, and more importantly, in a very human, a more human approach. So really, really fun. I'm just fixing the screen here. Okay. So yeah, we look forward to kind of doing more interactive spaces. I want to do in the future team meetings in here. I think it's a little bit more fun. It's a little more interactive. It's very easy to share screens and experiences with everyone else. So I look forward to a little bit more about that.
And as fantastic as our metaverse spaces are, it's only the tip of the iceberg. We just consider the metaverse one of many tools that we have at our disposal to really help people upskill, advance professionally, and educate themselves. And I'd love to show you guys a little bit of our platform. It's very exciting. I think this is one of the first big public reveals.
Yeah. Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit about the ecosystem a little bit more? Like, what is the professional platform all about? And what is the value? What's the value add here?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to give you some visuals on that too. Basically, you have the ability to learn, get credentialed, participate in auto matching recruiter system, and network. Let me give you an idea of what that might look like. Here we go. So exciting. This is one of the first times it's ever been shown publicly, everyone. So we're really thrilled that you're here with us today. So on the homepage, you've got a social feed, like any social feed that you would see elsewhere. And you can advertise your courses, your events, anything that's happening within your community. We're super excited about that. Then you've got this really robust system of communities that you can join. You can join by minting an NFT with them right here on the platform. You can see what active jobs they have, what courses. You can check out their social feed. And you can also check out who's supporting them. We're all about contributors and collaborators in our space. And then you can check out, like, what are the credentials that people hold? Like, are they really who they say they are? Are they really participating hardcore? Are they passionate about the space? And so we really think that that's invaluable. Additionally, you can see what courses they're enrolled in, and you can participate in our community either via Google or your wallet connection. And then when you go to the content section, you see all of the content that we've aggregated from the best players in the space. And for us, content is not just courses, it's podcasts, it's articles, it's videos, because everyone learns differently. So we wanted to have a variety of different types of educational content for people to participate in. And then you could go to the minting section. Every content contributor gets to decide if they're going to offer credentials and what the criteria is for those credentials. So they could offer soulbound tokens, which will live specifically in your wallet and validate your skills, NFTs, or POAPs. Additionally, you can mint NFTs to join communities. Or if you are a freelance person or a consultant, you can offer your time as an NFT so people can lock in a certain number of hours for a certain amount. And let's not forget events. This is how we got to the metaverse. Events are here for all communities, all individuals to advertise. You can advertise IRL events using Luma and Partyful. You can also schedule events for your team for Zoom or Butter. Additionally, you can choose a space, either a shared communal space or a gated metaverse space, and plan an event. And 2 clicks, you're right in. Everything we do is browser based and totally mobile. If you're fortunate enough to qualify for credentials that are soulbound, you can opt to have your wallet searched in an auto matching recruiter system, which will qualify you for jobs and opportunities in the ecosystem. So we're super proud to be doing this. We really believe that we're building something very special that's going to change the way that people advance their careers, get hired professionally, network, find friends, and new opportunities.
Thank you so much. That's a wonderful overview. Yeah, from professional environments that you're setting up, fun entertainment events that you may want to organize. The really cool thing about this is, Stacy's been doing this for a very long time, as I mentioned, in the real world space and now in the virtual space. The beautiful part is you don't have to be Rockefeller or have tons of financial resources behind you to actually put on a stellar event in these environments. That's really, really important. And it's important because when you're in the professional space, like for me, you want to do sometimes you want to do something really special for your team. You want to do team building, but it's sometimes cost prohibitive. Hey, let's fly everyone to Sedona, for an offsite. It's hard to do that, especially now. It's cost prohibitive. It's time consuming, and sometimes you don't get what you want done in one day or over a couple of days. But now you actually have the opportunity to do something really rich and robust within these spaces. So very, very cool. And let's talk about, Stacy, let's talk about the benefits to brands. Branding is a big part of my world and what MVMT does. It's, for our audience, how can it actually help a brand? And this is a question that we get around NFTs. Like, how will NFTs enhance real world experiences? How will it enhance digital experiences, from an asset standpoint or whatever it may be, or an experience standpoint? But from a brand standpoint, you can actually tokenize assets and real world assets, trade them in virtual spaces. Again, we talked about the events, but you can also create destinations or storefronts for your brands, even if it's a service driven company like MVMT. I can have a beautiful mid-century modern architecture dwelling within the Hive3 Metaverse and have people go there. Over time, you can set up concierge, whether they're actual real people hanging out there, answering questions and meeting people, depending on inflow, or if they're AI-driven concierge or employees of your brand. You can be welcomed. You can actually sit down. You can learn more about it. You can actually play interactive experiences and trailers and videos to really kind of dig in and learn more about it. Beyond that, what we're seeing is, even with smart contracts, NFTs, you may be able to, in this world, mint your own NFTs seamlessly. You may purchase outfits for your avatar and keep them, across metaverses. So the idea of commerce as well kind of bubbles up. And then from a brand perspective, one of the things that I find very, very interesting about NFTs and virtual spaces is the idea of rewards, or extending the actual play of the brand, diving deeper and allowing or offering your customers deeper experiences and rewarding them in these virtual spaces and out of the virtual spaces as well, through NFTs, through extended experiences, and even into the real world. So lots of interesting benefits. And I think we're only, because everything is so fresh and new. VR has been around for a while, but Web3 really hasn't. We're in our infancy. So the combination of the two is really, really exciting for the end user. And it's going to be more powerful for the end user.
Yeah, agreed. And one of the things that was really of important focus for Hive3 is expense. As you mentioned before, this is really inexpensive for the end user. And that was really important. The ability to use it easily and the ability to afford it. So, all of your participation in our ecosystem, regardless if you want a private, gated, and branded metaverse, or if you want a branded area and a public metaverse space, everything is by membership. So you can trade in, trade out, upgrade your spaces really easy and seamlessly, like a rental car. Additionally, I have a really good story of a brand use case that came to us. So we're very heavy in tech, but what's been really fascinating is that our tech companies are making introductions to brands that are outside of tech. And one of those was a wine company that distributes wine to corporations as gift. You know, they do corporate gifting, and part of what comes with a gift is your IRL wine, but your virtual tasting. So they love the idea of doing them inside one of our shared metaverse worlds, inviting our tech patrons, but additionally selling vintages of wine as NFTs. Now, why is that cool? It's cool because you could buy the NFT of the vintage. You can get the vintage shipped to you in the physical. You can get discounts with that NFT at wine tasting rooms globally, and you can participate in virtual tasting rooms. So the idea is just amazingly rich. It benefits so many brands. It keeps such a drive of loyalty and the ability for people professionally to meet new people and to network. So those are the kinds of things that we've been really excited about. Additionally, we're seeing a lot more conferences take interest because of the ability to keep the people who attend IRL engaged year round. And we can do virtual brand boosts, we can do talks and all sorts of exhibitions, just like you would in the physical. And to us, that's super exciting.
Yeah, and Stacy, you you and I've been talking about this, all the benefits, the connectiveness to brands, and it is super cool because outside, if you guys, towards the end of the presentation, we encourage you to kind of get up and walk around the space because this is just one of many spaces, and it can be customized. And the cool thing is you'll actually see a taco truck out there. So it actually could be a local taco truck that you could place an order, using crypto or any kind of, a cryptocurrency to pay for it, or tokenization to pay for it, and have items shipped to you or delivered to you as you're having a meeting or a team meeting, and have the CEO of the company could actually have ice cream. I think we were talking about the ice cream example or coffee example, to your team as it's happening. That's it's in the works, but it's a very special experience when you can kind of pull that off. So it's not just about, hey, let's sit down on the couch and talk about different technologies or whatever we're doing, but it's actually, you can have sponsorship in the space and make it feel really, really special. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I think you also touched on something there. I think the ability to engage with influencers and celebrities is made easy via the metaverse. There's no need for security guards, for expensive flights, for riders that demand green M&Ms in hotel rooms. You literally have someone log in, show up, and for the fan, it's a legit experience. They're legitimately talking to somebody they idolize, they follow, and they appreciate. So those experiences go a long way to enhance brand visibility, engagement, and loyalty with their fans. And we're super excited to be able to host those.
And I know you've done this in the real world, but DJs, right? They want to be in more spaces and across the world than they actually truly physically can do. And they can have hosts, full sets, and have sponsors floating around.
A couple of teams ago, myself and my co-founder of Hive3 were pioneering that space, as well as a few other people on this team. And yeah, we definitely think that the applications expand beyond typical brands into the music industry, into arts, into performance, and we're open to trying all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what we do in the future. I feel like there's another collaboration on the horizon for MVMT and Hive3.
Absolutely, Stacy. And we're just getting warmed up, everyone, with this podcast and others down the road. And we're going to have exciting content. MVMT is not just Web3 Unpacked, but it was formerly VR Unpacked, but now it's going to be XR Unpacked. We're going to have cybersecurity Unpacked. We're going to have AI Unpacked. So there's a lot of content that will be coming down the road, and a little bit more niched, but all within the emerging technology lens. And with these new channels will come new events and new content. So what we want to do is say, hey, look, we will probably do VR, Metaverse, Hive3 Metaverse special events. Maybe it's music focused or art focused or gallery focused events. Maybe it's mixers. And get to know some of the guests that have been on the podcast down the road, all within a 3D space, done fairly quickly and very seamlessly. So please keep an eye out for special Hive3 metaverse events coming through MVMT. We're very excited about it.
Us too, and I can't wait to do an NFT exhibition with you guys. I have a feeling we're gonna do some really excited, creative things to support the artists out there in the tech community. We don't want to forget them either.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. So, Stacy, I think we covered a lot here. Is there anything else you want to kind of touch on?
No, I just want to say thank you to everyone. We've got this awesome live studio audience. We see your questions and your messages coming in, and I can't wait for you to hang around post event. We'll teach you how to fly, and we'll show you some of the Easter eggs that are lurking for you to game and play with in the gardens.
Okay, do we have any questions here? RWA tokenized art shows. Of course, yes. Perhaps you could buy our art.
Actually, hey, Richard, it's Paul.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Paul. How are you?
Good, buddy. Good. This is really fun. I mean, this has been around for years, but yeah, I'm, with what we talked about my project, I think NFTs, obviously, but if you take actual art and you tokenize it, you could present it through this medium and actually sell it, sell multiple copies, but limited editions, that kind of thing. So it gets away from renting an art space and, like you said, security and all this other stuff, and then all the weirdos who protest it and burn it down or something strange, really, I could just put my stuff out there that I'm interested in and promoting, and have a private showing, if you will, right? Or a semi-private. So that was all.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Love that idea. And we have galleries in pretty much every one of our public metaverse spaces. So as a member of Hive3, you're more than welcome to book a time and a space to do NFT galleries with a certain membership level. And you can do it once a month and sell your goods and promote yourself. So that's exactly the kind of person we want to bring into light and amplify what you're doing.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I've got a friend who sells her art online. I mean, she does oil and canvas stuff, and it's nice. It's kind of flat though, if you will. Whereas if I was to go in there with my avatar and kind of animate it with my my speaking ability, my hands, I think it's going to be a little more compelling, because I can tell a story about what these mean, if you will. And that storytelling seems to be what sells stuff. So pretty cool. Are you still in Marina Del Rey?
Actually, I am currently on the East Coast outside of New York. But yes, I was in Marina Del Rey for about 15 years, and I'll be back there very soon.
Okay, cool. Now I just live north in Winnetka, West Valley. But we can definitely converse virtually. So I'll go ahead and do that. Is it just Hive3? Is that the site to go to then? Hive3.com?
Actually, Hive3 is by invitation only at this time.
Oh.
So you can connect with me at Stacy Quack via Twitter through DM, or if you're a friend of Rich, then he'll connect us via email.
No, Rich and I go back. Okay, because I did reach out to you on LinkedIn, but I'll just wait for the formal. Great.
Yeah. Paul, it's for the audience out there. Paul is doing some really interesting stuff, some of which I can and cannot get into at this point because it's in development. But, we've been talking about, virtual spaces and hosting, NFT art shows. But I'll just tease it out there that, NFTs are not just art. Tokenization of assets of any kind is a really interesting thing. And once they're tokenized and you can actually put them in the virtual world, whether they're representations of them in 3D art or modeled, or, two-dimensional, with a more illustrative experience behind it. So really interesting use cases that are going to bubble up. We'll see from Paul and many, many others out there. And I think, I think digital assets and the world of Web3 will have an actual, you can create homes for your wares and your services and your goods. So it's really exciting to see it all happen. And we fully intend to experiment more and play and kind of see what people's, reactions are, and try and build communities around these. So awesome. Stacy, what else do we have going on here?
I think we did it. I think we covered it all.
Yeah, cool. And let's see. I'm trying to do a little emoji here, emoticon. Thank you, everyone. And what I would say is I'm going to post all of our links when we get this, podcast edited and popped up. We're going to be able to see, all of our information. But you can hit me up at mvmt.media. On X, I'm Richard Pasqua. That's it. MVMT is MVMT_media on X, and so on and so on. So Stacy is showing us that you can actually double tap quickly and fly.
I'm sorry, I couldn't wait. I know I should have, but it was just way too much fun to ignore.
Oh,
so
there she is.
Back down again. Thanks so much, everyone. I really appreciated everyone being here. Stick around for the flying lessons and for the fun. There's plenty of games to check out in the garden, and the old school video games in this room actually work. So feel free to try them out. No quarters needed in the metaverse, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, everyone.